This is just for Monday, October 4th, 2021. Taking a look at the daily here. So we had a high wave candle on Friday and gapped slightly down and just plummeted the first hour or so. There we go. First hour, 2 hours, no, hour and a half was just straight selling. Got a couple of bullish candles in here on the 5 minute. Back in the daily here, the low we put in today was 3176.25, which is about a quarter above 3176. Sorry, 3175.76. So we're only about 2 quarters, about 50 cents above that low, and likely to continue lower. If we do somehow bounce right on that candle, then it's going to kind of shift this away from maybe a megaphone pattern. But I mean, there's some resistance and some support coming in just a little bit further below. Then you've got, this purple trend line. We could come down in here around like 30, 60, 30, 50 for the next few days. Or if we just put another large, 100 plus point candle tomorrow, then we might get there tomorrow. So it's only about 100 points lower to get there. And today's range was a little more than 100. So we got one of those. We've got 5 bearish days in a row. I'm not saying it's going to bounce. I'm not saying it's going to come back up. This is the zone. This is the area that we actually came down to and then came back up to the 200. So that's really the only thing it has going for it, that it is at that same kind of oversold area, and it could retrace. So it's got a little further to go back up from where it was over here and bounce into the 200, but we'll see. The bearish perspective, all day was bearish. Each time we retested, we followed the 5 all the way down and then went sideways and then came back into the 21. And it wasn't really until we got this RSI overbought that we just plummeted again. But on the RSI, not so much from the move from here to here. That wasn't a huge sell-off. Nothing like, the open. So this was the time to be shorting it, and then shorting any of these retracements where the RSI got to the overbought. And this one didn't really work, but this one was a false breakout for the bulls and just got crushed. And that's actually when it pushed and made a new low on the day, was this move here. So we ended kind of choppy. Obviously towards the lower end of the day, we did not have any sort of rally like we did back on this day or any other time where we've had a really strong bounce, after some sort of a gap down or sell off. Let's see. There was a candle. Oh, this one. This is what I was thinking. It's like, oh, I wonder if we'll have that kind of a day. Nope. Amazon was not strong enough to have that kind of a day today. So, but seeing this after, a big kind of move down and getting into some of the support lines, this is back down to the 2900s when we came down there. So that is still even further to go than where we find ourselves right here, if we do just continue to go down. So we have to wait and see. So yeah, the bearish move right out the gate was tough to get. You really would have just had to have an order open for the same price as it closed on Friday. And it didn't really give you a good opportunity to retest into anything, just rested a little bit into the 5, and that was it. With this option, it would have been buying 10 by 9, which I did not have set up and ready to go. This is the 3100 put expiring this week, and it had a bunch of premium in it. Or got a bunch of premium baked into it as this sold off, and then pretty much went, into its own little channel as the day here went into a channel, this kind of a range. We were putting in a similar range on the put up here. Let me see if I can highlight that the same. There we go. And so buying near the low of that range and selling to the top of the range would have worked out great. It was a little bit more expensive, but you had some smaller candles in here, especially right as you got into the 21. And then with the RSI having this overbought and the RSI on the put being oversold. But this option, I probably would have been out another week and even a little further away, but then it's even lower volume. This was a little more expensive than I like to do with $100 risk, but this was really a good setup with the RSI and where it was running into, and knowing there's this much of a bearish sentiment. So this was a great setup right here. And you don't you don't quite have the confluence on the 3300 call. You can look at another call that's maybe a little closer. This one, I don't even have it on the screen, but this is where this sold off from. And yeah, I mean, it just lost all of its value, and then put in a very similar kind of channel here, you know, like that, and continue to go a little bit lower into the close. So you can see how things are moving. Obviously this was a Monday, and you can see how the premium is just getting sucked out in both directions. Like the last 4 candles of the day here on the put, we're all losing value, even though 2 of them in the middle here of the last 4 were in the bearish direction. And then yeah, just not really getting higher at the end of the day, where the stock was getting higher, but the call was not getting that much higher than a few candles earlier. So there's a lot of premium that came in just with the volatility, and it's going to get sucked out as the days go by this week. So we'll see how these kind of end up, but we'll probably need to look at different options as the week goes by, and as the volatility gets sucked out of the market. If it does, if it stays volatile and we have more really large range days, true range, arbitrary range, whatever it's called, then we'll see what options we actually have to look at to get this $100 risk. But if this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.